Witam ponownie na moim kanale. Welcome back to my channel. As I've been creating content for this channel so far, I've been focusing a lot on language and traditions and differences between American and Polish culture. And I'd like to start a mini series called What I Love Most About Poland. And I will periodically post videos that specifically refer to things that I personally deem to be most exciting about being in Poland, the Polish culture, so forth and so on. Now, all of these experiences are very personal and they come from my perspective. So I'm not saying that the way I see the world is the way everyone else sees the world. I travel to Poland every few years. I stay there for an extended period of time during the summer, and experiences accumulate, and therefore I have some stories to share. So with that in mind, I'm gonna begin with episode 1. This is called bread. Chleb. Whenever I'm in Poland, the one thing that stands out to me is the availability of fresh bread. Bakeries exist almost everywhere. In every little town, village, obviously city, bakeries are incredibly accessible to everyone. And for some reason, I think we think of like a fresh loaf of bread as like a truly fresh loaf of bread, okay? As a luxury here, it's not a luxury in Poland. It's a common food that everyone has access to. Bakery will be baking bread throughout the day, and at certain hours you can always get fresh bread. I know there are some bakeries around here in the US where I can only go there on some days because on those days I know the bread will be super fresh. And then even then I have to show up at a specific time in the morning for that bread to be nice and warm and crispy. Whereas I remember I would go in the middle of the afternoon with my cousin and we'd get a fresh loaf of warm, crispy bread. And it would be very inexpensive, very inexpensive. Because of how fresh bread is in Poland and how commonplace it is, most of that bread usually goes bad after like a day. So after a day, the bread is no longer crispy. You kind of have to, you either have to freeze it the day you buy it, or, you know, eat it all in one day. And so a common thing that happens, at least in my family, is we take whatever bread is left over that is no longer super fresh, like even the next day, and we feed it to the ducks or feed it to any kind of wildlife that might be nearby. In addition to just bread, you can always buy fresh bułki, like little buns that are also, again, they are available every single day at any bakery in Poland. Fresh bread is such a staple to me, and when I think of Poland, it's one of the very first things that come to my mind, because I think of the contrast that here I just do not have that same accessibility to bread. So if you ever go to Poland, one of the things you must do is walk into any bakery and ask for the freshest loaf of bread, and you will taste bread like you've never tasted it before. It will be the best bread you've ever had. Thanks for watching my mini series on what I love most about Poland. I'll see you next time. Do widzenia, like and subscribe.